Drum roll, please. It's a yearly favorites video. Yeah, I know. Have I done a favorites video in... I haven't done a favorites video in I think 1.5 to 2 years. I used to love doing these videos because it was like me getting to like talk with you guys about things that excited me and like things that I was using this month, because it was monthly favorites. And then I got a job. Well, I got like a real person job, and I wasn't wearing a lot of makeup to the office because I was getting no sleep. And then pandemic. And then I don't really wear makeup. But I decided to do a yearly favorites video because I found a lot of favorites this year. Not all technically came out this year. A lot of them I've had in my collection but I've forgot about and I've had time to explore. So I wanted to do a favorites video for you guys for 2020. And it's my first yearly favorites video, so I'm so excited. Okay, yay! Alright, I wrote down a list of things because I'm anxious about forgetting why I love products. Anxiety, my old friend. I also don't have all the products I'm going to be talking about because some of them I used up. Okay, don't be mad at me, okay. Alright, let's just get into the favorites video. I don't know why when I started my list, I started with setting powders. I guess they just hit in a different way this year. But the first powder that I wanted to talk about is this one. This is the Becca Hydra Mist Set and Refresh powder. This is actually a brand new one. I don't have it opened. I just took it out of the box. This is my backup. And I don't want to... It's going to be expired by then. I'm so stupid. I didn't want to use this powder until the pandemic was over because what's so cool about this powder is that it's cold. Part of it is water. So what happens is when the product gets older, the coolness wears off, and I feel like then the hydration that comes from the powder wears off as well. So I didn't want to open it until I knew I was going to use it. Again, I'm not really setting my face a lot right now. We're doing makeup, so I haven't been using it. So it's in a box. Long story short, this is why I love it. So I said I used this at the beginning of last year, and I've been in love. Oh, it has been the love of my life into this year. I've always looked for a powder that doesn't make my under eyes look dry, and I finally found one. Now, I had been trying before this so many powders. The Beauty Bakery Flour Powder, which made my eyes look so incredibly dry. I did not like that one. I've tried a few of them. And then I got this in a BoxyCharm last year, and it was like, wow, this is what powder is supposed to feel like on my face. It just set things, and it just made them look real good. Now, like I said, it is cold when you apply it because it's a crazy amount of percentage of water, which is amazing, and you can feel it hydrating your face that way. It's great for us dry girls. The one thing that I have a qualm about this product is I feel like if you apply too much, it does darken your concealer. Because a crazy amount of it is water, if you apply too much, it like soaks into the concealer. So a light hand is all you need to begin with, but the light hand is the better hand to use with this. I just love how healthy it makes my face look and how hydrated it is, because like I said, I have dry skin, and that is a tough thing to do to make me look hydrated, especially in the winter months. The next one is a setting powder that I actually used on my face today, and this one I also found in a BoxyCharm. I was convinced that I wasn't going to like this product at all, but I ended up really loving it. So this is from Ciate London. This is the Everyday Vacay Coconut Setting Powder. It just looks like this. This is I think about $22, so it's pretty affordable as far as setting powders go. The Becca one is I think $38, which is quite expensive. I like this one because it's lightweight, so it lets my skin breathe. So I don't know how to explain it. Sometimes the problem with setting powders is they're heavy. Like they feel heavy under my eyes. They feel heavy when I set this, and this feels so lightweight that it doesn't suck all of the hydration out of my face. It doesn't make me look too matte, but it does set my face, which is so nice. And during the pandemic, I've solely been using this one because I put a lot of moisturizer on my face, and then I want to set my eyebrows. Like I want to soak up the water from that just so I can put product on it. And again, this does that, but it doesn't make my face look matte, which is so nice. I don't really typically like Ciate products, but this one is just so different. I really appreciate the satin finish it gives to my skin, and it just does not make it look dry, which is... Now we're going to primers. Now we're going to go like the rest of the order of the face. The pretty much only primer I was using in 2020 was the Tarte Base Tape Primer. I got this in a BoxyCharm Premium one of the 2 months that I had it. Do you know the Too Faced Hangover RX primer. Yeah, that one that was like huge on YouTube a while ago. That used to dry my skin out. Oh my god. And I feel like this is an elevated version of that because it smells coconutty. It is super hydrating, and it even has like, for people who haven't used the RX Hangover Primer, it has this weird like film almost, it feels like. And this also has that weird film, but with the RX primer, sorry, from Too Faced, it felt like that sucked out the moisture from my skin, and this one, it feels like it infuses it into my skin. I think this is incredible. I was using the Smashbox primerizer, but I ran out of that, and then because I had such a good primer, I did not have to replace it right away. It's really good. Yeah, I don't think this necessarily makes my makeup wear any longer, but I don't typically pick products to make my makeup wear longer just to keep my skin hydrated. So, and I'm going to talk about what I usually pair it with. So I typically pair that with this, which is the Wander Beauty Glow Ahead Illuminating Oil. I also got this in a BoxyCharm. It's clearly a theme going on. What I love most about this is that it has a little bit of micro glitters in it, and it's not oily in the way that you typically imagine facial oils. Facial oils usually are really oily. This feels like it's cut with water, or it feels more watery than oily. It absorbs into the skin so much better. It doesn't like stay on top of the skin as most oils do. And paired with this, it just gives such the most beautiful illuminated hydrated base for makeup to go on top of. It's chef's kiss, and I continually repurchase it because I really see such a significant difference in my skin when I use a oil or something like a serum before my primer. So gotta throw that one in there. For foundation, I have two different foundations I want to talk about this year, both of whom I've discovered this year. I think one came out this year. So I was watching a video from Kathleen Lights, and she mentioned the Zoeva Authentic Skin Natural Luminous Foundation. And it ended up being on sale at Ulta for $14, so I decided to pick it up. I'm in the shade 030N, which I think is either the lightest or one of the lightest shades. So the name of the foundation really speaks for itself. It's definitely an authentic, natural, luminous foundation. It keeps my skin looking like skin. Now, it's a satin finish, but it can become dewy depending on what base you pair it with. So if I paired it with a different primer, which I don't usually do, it could be more of a satiny finish, but if I pair it with these two, it becomes a dewy dream. I actually used this foundation on one of my friends, Lydia. I have a video with her on my channel, and she was like, wow, this foundation looks bomb. And I was like, yeah, because it looks like skin. It covers up just enough. I'd say it's a medium coverage. It covers up just enough to, you know, cover like my hyperpigmentation on my cheeks, while also letting my birthmark seep through. I have a birthmark right here, and I have a birthmark maybe on the other side. I have two birthmarks. Oh, and I have one on my cheek. Anyway, with this foundation, it covers everything but lets that peek through, which really makes me feel more like me, which sounds weird. Now, the only thing I can't speak about with this foundation is the wear time, because I purchased it in March, right as COVID was happening, so I haven't been able to wear this for more than like 2 hours, if that, because I pretty much just sit down to do my makeup for YouTube and Instagram right now, so it's on my face for 2 hours max. But I can say that in that 2 hours, she looks good. The other foundation that I purchased was also during pandemic, so it must have come out in 2020. This is the ColourPop Pretty Fresh foundation. I'm in the shade 30N. I bought both of these shades online, and I'm blessed that they both fit me pretty well. This one leans a little bit yellower for me, and this one's way more neutral, which I appreciate. I'm wearing this one on my face today, and what I love about this is that it's so pretty. It's so fresh. It's pretty fresh. No, there's so much to love about this foundation. First, it is a medium to buildable coverage. It is a nice satin to dewy finish. Again, I say satin because I feel like with just a regular pore filling primer, this is a satin foundation, but paired with a hydrating primer, it becomes dewy. For me, it doesn't make my skin look flat. It doesn't make my skin look boring, too matte. It doesn't look like I'm wearing a heavy foundation, which I appreciate so much. And it just really, I feel like, lets my skin breathe. Like, it doesn't feel Sometimes when you wear foundation for too long, you're like, damn, I want to take this off. But I don't feel that way with this one. Another thing about this foundation is it's affordable and the shade range is incredible. You can find it at your local Ulta, or you could go online at ColourPop's website, and they always have discount codes as influencers you can use. I think it cost me $16, but there's always an Ulta coupon for $3.50 off $15, which would make it $12.50. Wait. $12.50, yeah, which is a great affordable price range for such a high-end feeling foundation. I think personally this is the best launch that ColourPop has done all year, and I might even go so far as to say for the last 2 years, definitely the best complexion product launch ever. Alright, for concealers, I have 2 concealers to talk about. The first one is, I'm just going to talk about it because I talked about the foundation last. This is the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Concealer. I have the shade Fair 20N. I am a neutral undertone. This, paired with this, is what you have on my face today. It is so nice. So nice. They both are so nice and hydrating and fresh. And the concealer specifically, sometimes I deal with, especially during the pandemic, the beginning of the pandemic, wearing the mask so much, I had wearing my glasses as well. It dried out my eye. And I could not wear makeup because I could not put anything on my eye without it burning, without it hurting, without it looking like a patchy, scaly mess. This concealer really changed that for me. I had to obviously hydrate my eye with eye cream, but then if I put that over top, I could fake it enough. It looked hydrated enough that I could put makeup on. And I really appreciate that. And then in the everyday life, it is just hydrating and satiny because it's not too dewy under the eyes. The one area of my face I don't want dewy is right here because I do have lines that would accentuate them. No. This just makes it look nice and satin. It is pretty full coverage. It covers my dark circles really well. It blends out super easy. And this I think is like $8. A super affordable concealer. So let's talk about the next concealer, which is the concealer I live, breathe, die, and would. If I had to get rid of every concealer in my collection and only pick one for the rest of my life, it'd be this one. This is the Catrice Liquid Camouflage High Coverage Concealer, waterproof. This is a hot $5. Let's start with that. It's a hot $5. The shade range could use some improving. I know Catrice is finally a little too late getting on the game of increasing the shade range and increasing inclusivity of the people who could use it. The shade Porcelain works perfect for me. I don't even know what to say about this. It is, I would say, probably a matte concealer, but because of the dewy base I use and the eye creams I use, it always comes off as a satin finish for me. It is really nice and full coverage right off the bat. I love using this to prime my eyes before I put on eyeshadow because it, I think, keeps the eyeshadows performing as they would sans any primer. It never looks heavy on my skin. It never looks heavy under my under eyes. It always sets so nicely. It's $5. And I've used one from Dose of Colors. I've used one from Laura Mercier. And I just keep going back to this one. Sometimes don't fix what ain't broke. And sometimes drugstore items I think are as good or better than high-end items. So let's move on to some high-end items then. As I say that, I'm going to give an honorable mention to my e.l.f. Primary Infused Bronzer. I know I've mentioned it in a favorites video before, so I decided to keep it out of this one. But that is my ultimate favorite bronzer from the drugstore. Let's talk about some bronzers that are my ultimate favorite from the not drugstore. I want to take a moment of silence. I had bought the Fenty Cream Bronzer in the shade Butter Biscuit at the beginning of the pandemic. I lost it, man. I don't know where it is. It was on trend to be my favorite bronzer of the year, and I used it twice and I lost it. And I'm so upset with myself that I have not bought a replacement. So now let's talk about something that I did not lose. Let's start with this one. It's a cream product. This year for me has been the year of the creams. The year of the creams. This is the Milk Makeup Matte Bronzer in the shade Baked. This probably expired by now. This is the perfect cream bronzer. It looks quite warm in the tube. This would scare me normally, and it did when I first purchased it, but I heard that it was a really great bronzer, especially for like people who want a more neutral bronze. So I went out and picked it up, and it is, honestly. And I think the best way to apply this is with a big brush, kind of densely packed brush. I would brush this into the brush, dab it on the back of my hand, and then stamp it on my face like that. I love using it with the Eyeliner Cosmetics bronzer brush. That's the best way to use this. It blends out to give you the most beautiful, sun-kissed, neutrally bronze ever. You can build it up and somehow it still always looks like your skin. It's not too dewy because it is a matte bronzer, but it keeps the look more satiny, which, if we've seen anything from this video, satin queen. It wears so nicely throughout the day. It looks so nice on every occasion. If I don't want to deal with the blending and the patchiness that sometimes comes with powder bronzers, I use this boy. Man, let's talk about another jumbo size bronzer I bought this year. This is the Marc Jacobs Omega bronzer in the shade Tantastic. It smells like coconuts. Let's start with that. I've seen Kathleen Lights rave about this bronzer for years. Like, I'm pretty sure 2 years now. And I've wanted it. It's been in my cart. I've like thought about purchasing it twice, but it's $50. Like $50. And if we break down minimum wage, you're gonna be working for 7 hours to get this. This is 7 hours of your life. So I couldn't do it. But then it went on sale for $35. 32? 35? I don't know. I bought it for 30 something dollars, and that I felt like was enough to swallow. This is the bronzer I have on my face today. It is the perfect neutral bronzer for light to fair. I think you can even push it with medium because this is quite buildable skin tones. It is so nice, so high quality, so blendable that really it blends itself away. I was nervous because it is pigmented that sometimes it would stick. It does not. You can load this bitch up. She just keeps looking beautiful. It's not too much. It's not too much on the face. It's just enough of a bronze. It's so beautiful. And I think the best part about this one, as well as the Milk Makeup one, is that they really blend into the skin. They don't sit on top of it. It never looks heavy. It always just absorbs into my skin so well. It looks so good with the two foundations. Like, everything just blends so well on top of them. And this is no exception. I have to say this was worth every single penny I paid for it, and I was not a believer until now. But Marc Jacobs, I've used I've only used 2 of their products now, but I'm kind of a believer. Alright, let's talk about some blushes. I only have one blush for this year to talk about, and it is from Persona Cosmetics. These are the Super Blushes. I have the shade Georgia and Caramel. Caramel is my favorite, and it's the one I'm wearing on my face today. This is a more mauve blush. I've learned I'm a mauve blush person. It is this beautiful, cool toned mauve. It is quite pigmented. These are quite pigmented. So use a very light hand. Typically I'll dip it in, I'll beat it on the back of my hand, and then I'll put it on my face. This shade Georgia is a beautiful peachy pink, which I also do love using. My favorite way to use these blushes is actually to mix these 2 colors together. They make the most beautiful blush. They don't have any glitter, any shimmer in them at all, but yet they give such a healthy, glowy look to the skin. I love them. They wear so long. I've used these as eyeshadows as well. They're so good. Persona is my favorite brand, and they come out with like the highest quality products ever. And when I heard they were coming out with blushes, I was like way super excited. I hope the next product from them is bronzers, because they just do powders so well. Next is highlights, and actually the 2 highlights I have to talk to you about this year are both from Hourglass. So I got this one in a BoxyCharm. This is the Hourglass Vanish Champagne Flash Highlighter. I love this one to use on top of makeup like this, but more importantly, I love using this when I'm not wearing makeup, on my no makeup days. Pretty much I've been wearing this every single day of the pandemic, because even though you can't really see most of my face underneath a mask, for me, I just need to have a little glow right here to make me feel like a person. This is perfect. This one is way more of a natural one. Like, I don't feel like if I put this on you would see it right away, but when you turn the face, it just gives such a nice little like glossy, shimmery look to the skin. Not glittery at all. Super nice. Very blendable. You can use this with your fingers, which is what I've been doing, and I love it for that reason. And the other highlight is actually from this palette. This is the Ambient Lighting Edit Unlocked palette. This is the Ghost edition. I got it last year, and this was a palette that had been on my list for ages. This highlight, so good. I have it on my face today. This highlight is called the Metallic Strobe Powder Champagne Strobe Light. It is the perfect shade of highlight for my skin. This palette definitely, I don't feel like would work with every skin tone, but the highlight was a standout product from this palette. They do highlights different. They do highlights so different. I don't know how else to describe this one other than a metallic beauty that again doesn't, my camera stopped recording and now I don't remember what I was saying. Just that I love it. Oh, I think I was saying that it's not like an overly aggressive highlight. It's not like, hey, I'm here, I'm metallic and I'm here. It kind of just lets you live. But then, you know what I mean? This is the portion of the video where I don't have the products I'm going to be talking about because I've used them up and I have thrown them out. Mascaras. So as you know, I'm a mascara connoisseur, I would say. It's my favorite beauty product other than brows. And I try every single mascara I can in search of the perfect mascara, which I may have found this year actually. The first one is from Bare Minerals. It is the Strength and Length Mascara. I have to first shout out Influencer because they got to send this to me for free and I got to try this for free and it was incredible. A perfect way to test out and find a product that I love. It is up there with the Maybelline Lash Sensational too, which is another one that I just love with all my heart. What I love most about this mascara, and I'm mad I threw away the bottle a little bit, is the wand. But it is this little paddle brush with rubbery bristles on it. And you know how I love rubbery bristles because that's both what the Lash Sensational and the Manicure Mascara has. Now, the wand on it, because it is this like flat wand like this, when you go to apply it, it really picks up every single lash and just lengthens it and coats it in this mascara, which is incredible. And the best part about this formula is that it separates the lashes on the first application, but you can build it up, and the second application it really gives you this volumized, super lengthened look. It is incredible and it doesn't clump up on itself. Now I've only worn this through the pandemic again, and I've been wearing it with masks obviously, and my eyes tear up quite a bit when I'm wearing masks, so I always do, like, it does smudge because my eyes are so damn watery. I don't know what it's like in the non-pandemic world if it smudges. It at least does not flake on me, which is really nice. And just with most mascaras, I prefer it as it gets older. I like a drier mascara formula, and definitely this one just ages to perfection. And second one came actually pretty recently. It is the Milk Makeup Kush Waterproof Mascara. I got it in a BoxyCharm, and whoo girl. The moment I tried it, I was like, this is special. I don't typically like waterproof mascaras because they are so difficult to get off and sometimes they really hurt my lashes. But luckily the Fenty Skin Cream Cleanser takes off makeup without harming my eyelashes, so I was able to really use it and fully enjoy it. It is incredible. The difference with this one is it's not a plasticky bristle. It is a full-on bristle, and it's a big fat wand, which for me I was like, oh god, I'm not gonna like this. But somehow the way the formula of the mascara performs, because I know it can't be the brush, it separates every single lash again and it just lengthens them to the gods while giving an ungodly amount of volume. The one thing I will say about the Bare Minerals mascara is that it isn't necessarily the most volumizing formula. The Milk Makeup Kush one, it's got it all. The only problem with the Kush mascara is it dries out really quickly. It is a drier formula to begin with, which again, you know, I love because I feel like the drier formulas tend to stick to the lashes way better than wetter mascara formulas that just kind of slip and slide. But I only use this mascara for probably 2.5 months, and typically I can use a mascara for 4 months before it gets to a point where I don't like using it. The Milk Makeup Kush mascara just dries out so quickly, and there's so much product. You can tell when you get the wand out, like there's a lot of product still left in the bottle, but it just dries up quite quickly. It's a sacrifice I'm willing to make for the way my lashes look when I wear it, but unfortunately that is the one downside of it. Alright, let's move on to something that I actually have, which is my favorite eyeliners for the year. This was the year of the eyeliner for me. I got into really pretty graphic liners this year. I bought some water inks from by Melopes, and I'm learning to be a graphic liner bitch. But the regular gel liners that I love and have been loving for so long are the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide-On Gel Liners. They're an expensive liner. And you know I typically like the ColourPop ones for a more affordable one because there's so many colors, they're great. But I would rather spend the money and get these eyeliners instead. These are simply incredible. So creamy, so glidey. You can blend them out and smoke them out and oh, they look so good smoked out. And you can put them in the waterline and they will freaking stay there until you're dead or you take them out, whichever one comes first. I even like the ones with glitters in them, which surprises me. I have these two here with glitters and I got a lot of them from the Game of Thrones collab and every single one of those has glitters. Oh my god, there's this beautiful gold shade which just looks like liquid gold in the waterline. Oh, so incredible. These are worth every single penny, and if I had enough money, I would buy every single shade that was ever created. They're $22, but typically they go on sale once a year at Ulta's 21 Days of Beauty for $11. Pick them up. Next thing we're talking about is brows, and there's one standout brow product for me this year. It is the Milani Brow Weekend Felt Tip Brow Liner. It is an eyebrow tint pen. We've seen this in the Glossier Brow Flick, and Anastasia came out with one as well, but this one came out in between the Brow Flick and the Anastasia brow one, and I love this one. This is about $8. It gives the same effect as like a Brow Flick or like the Anastasia brow felt tipped pen thing. I don't know what to call these. Like, it's way more affordable. The only thing with this is that, first of all, it takes time to learn how to use, because at first it was just looking like my flicks were way too thick on my brows, and now I pretty much wear this every single day to work because it's quite easy to just go in there, flick a few things, put some clear brow gel over it. I always brush this out because it is a little pigmented, and then it just looks like your natural brows. Like, I haven't used a brow pencil in probably half a year. When it comes to lipsticks, again, with the pandemic, I haven't been wearing lip products a lot at all, and I actually went through this big lip product cleanse of my collection and got rid of a lot of lips. But the one lip product I will always love until I die and never get rid of are the Urban Decay Vice lipsticks, the bullet form. Now, they have quite a few finishes to them. There's a Mega Matte, there's a Comfort Matte, there's a cream, there's a sheer, and then a metallic finish. So there's quite a few. I have pretty much one of each. I love the sheer lipsticks. Oh my goodness. I don't know what I have, what shade it's called, but it is this beautiful like baby pink, but since it's sheer, you can glide it on top of like a deeper lip liner and it just looks so good. Or like if you're not wearing a lot of makeup but you still want a little tint on your lips, beautiful. I love the cream formula, I think, the most. This one I have on my lips right now, it's called Liar. I did put a lip gloss over it, but it is so good. They don't dry out the lips. They last quite a long time for a bullet lip, and honestly, this is the only metallic lipstick I will use. Two of them came in the Game of Thrones collab, one called Daenerys Targaryen and then one called Cersei Lannister, which is my favorite lipstick ever. It's just hard to use because it's like a bronzy gold metallic lip. Oh, but it's so good. The lip gloss of the year, the standout lip gloss of the year, is definitely the Persona Season 1 lip glosses. I have the shade here with me, Peach and Toffee. I have Toffee put over the Liar lipstick right now and it looks so good. I pretty much knew the moment I got these lip glosses that they're going to be my lip glosses forever. Well, what I love most about these glosses is how comfortable they are, how not sticky they are, how they smell, and how they wear. So they smell like vanilla frosting, which I'm addicted to sugar, so that brings me a lot of joy. I love the shade range on these boys. They just came out with 2 more shades, which I had in my cart, but I did not have the money to purchase. But they look incredible. One is a goldy glitter, and then one is another kind of peachy pinky nude. I actually have a full video of me swatching them. I'll link it down below. It's almost at 1,000 views. I'm crying. But they feel like melted butter is the best way to describe them. It feels like melted butter on your lips. Have you ever melted butter and then like felt it in between your fingers, where it's like slippery and glidey, but in a weird way it feels really good? That's exactly what these feel like. They aren't like the slippy butter in that they slip around. They stick down pretty well on where you have them, and they wear pretty damn well for a gloss too. I'd say I only have to reapply this 1 or 2 times if I'm wearing it for the whole day. And they look great on their own. They look great on top of lip liners. They look great on top of lipsticks. They're just the perfect pair for every lip look. And the last thing I'm going to talk about this year is Fenty Skin. I purchased Fenty Skin as soon as it came out, and I first purchased this, which is the Hydra Visor. This is the moisturizer with SPF 30 in it. I loved it so much that I bought the cream cleanser, which I have in my bathroom, and then I also bought the toner. And I've gotten rid of everything else in my skincare routine except for these and complementary products like an eye cream and an oil. I used to have really, really bad acne, like really, 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 really bad hormonal acne right around my chin. It would literally, I mean, I could pull up clips from things where it's just like a little minefield on my chin. And since I've been using these products, my skin has just, I've seen such an incredible difference. I don't really get a lot of acne anymore. I do still get some hormonal acne around that time of the month, but I think around there, I don't get really many ever. I have been getting like little tiny acnes from obviously wearing the mask, but I think if I wasn't wearing the mask, my skin would just be normal. They're so good. They're so hydrating. They smell incredible. The cleanser I think is, they're all standout products, but I want to give a really big shout out to the cleanser because you can have a full face of makeup like this on and then you can wipe it all off with that cleanser. You don't need a makeup wipe. And it still really, really, really deep cleans the skin in a way that doesn't strip it. That is my favorites for this year in 2020. I'm manifesting good things and good launches in 2021. Oh, I didn't mention an eyeshadow palette. Pretty much the only eyeshadow palette I've been using in 2020 is the So Jaded one from ColourPop. I'll mention it quickly. I just love the arrangement, the colors, the amount of, the finishes, the amount of looks you can get. I have it on my eyes today. It's really good. So now that's everything. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave down below some of your favorites so I can check them out when I retail therapy my life. And until next time, I'll see you around.